Good day, good day. Wanted to talk about the introduction to what we are calling discovery, remedy discovery, or discovery remedy. If you've been around, we've been talking about, we did a series on the Antichrist, the mark of the beast, legal personalities, and what have you. We said and expressed and proved that there is a transformation that has taken place, a type of usurpation of the natural order, which has become masked by legalities, constructs, man-made constructs, and man-made laws known as positive laws. And because of this, mankind has become subject to governments, states, jural societies, legal entities, and the list goes on and on and on. All sorts of man-made constructs, contrivances. And so the people are in search of a remedy. This is why you may turn on your YouTube platform and see there's no shortage of gurus discussing various topics, going to the indigenous people, the land, freedom, claiming your rights, etc., etc. So again, people are looking for an answer, a remedy. Now, in brief, because we're not yet in the thick of our research on the remedy, although I do, at least in theory, believe in part and know in part what is necessary, you know, backed by my studies over the last 10 years. Okay, but on this particular video, I'm not looking to divulge anything specifically. I just want to have or begin a conversation going to remedy and the discoveries thereof. And so with that said, I spent today, you know, a portion of the day while at work, looking into a few things, Googling some things, using the AI, asking it some questions regarding civil law and what is known as the common law. Yesterday, I listened to a think group discussing common law, and their sentiment that this is where the remedy lies, this is where we need to be. In the common law, we need to refute and deny participation in the civitas, you know, under the civil order, and we need to stay in what is called common law, because that, and from their standpoint, is where humans reserve their natural rights and what have you. Now, when I looked at natural law today, all right, objectively, not setting out to disprove anybody, but I wanted to know, you know, with an open mind and ready to see or accept whatever the information provides me. It showed, to me, it was saying that obviously common law is distinguishable from civil law, and common law has to do with the laws or the cases decided by judges in the Union, okay, in certain states of the Union, and other judges basically being able to use those cases that were decided as case precedents, okay, as opposed to and distinguished from civil law, which is statute-based. Okay, one is the Roman law, the other one are, again, the cases decided by the court or a judge. Okay, that's the distinction between civil law and common law. I wanted to know, after listening to this think group, whether this could be considered, whether common law could be looked at or considered as a remedy for our natural rights, our natural law protections, again, distinguishable from positive law protections or civil rights and political rights that you receive upon taking citizenship in a state. I wanted to know if they are correct, that this is our saving grace, the common law. I've heard that used a lot, and I've even used it myself ignorantly, because it just seemed like it made sense that the common law, which, again, is the law established through cases that were decided by particular judges, all right? It just seemed like, oh, if it's common law, then that's law that is common to everybody, and it must be, in line with God's law, the natural order, and what have you. But that's not what I found today. That's not what I found today. It matter-of-factly stated that common law is simply the holdings of judges, in contrast with laws that are enacted by the where we got the civil law from the, I think, the Justinian emperor or something to that effect. I forget the name specifically, but it came from like the 6th century or something like that, and it was Roman law, is the point. So, without going super in depth, right? I didn't find any basis, or I didn't find anything in my brief study today that would undergird the claim that all we need is to stay under the common law, and that would be our saving grace and our remedy in the face of the legalities and what have you. I don't see any of that. I didn't see any of that in there, is my point. So, but matter-of-factly, it does make the distinction between a civil law, which is, again, Roman law, and the common law. Again, the civil law is statutes. The dictates, mandates, edicts of a king or emperor. This is the law because I have said it is, and that's what you must follow. When you got a question, consult the statutes, and it will tell you what to do, because it's the will of the king, the emperor. That's civil law, Roman law. Again, common law In contrast, is whenever there is, you know, a discrepancy, you know, or what have you, it's the judge's job to come to make a conclusory decision. All right, and whatever that decision is becomes case precedence that other judges can use and follow. Okay, that's what's going on there. And so my pursuit here at Knowledge Well Media is to provide that remedy. Now, we know how it happened. We know approximately when it happens. They even tell us why it happens. It being the establishment of the legal order, the luring of people to take membership into the state, you know, and then subsequently the individuals being invested with political and civil rights, okay, and taking on the transfer of the birth certificate document we talked about yesterday in the live, which becomes the evidence of the attainment of a legal name. We talked about yesterday in the live. The legal name is used to participate in commerce and trade. It's used to sign legal documents, deeds, or contracts. We found that out yesterday, matter-of-factly, from the Social Security Administration's website. And so that is the mark that you receive from the system, the beast system. And, you know, that's what the citizen wears. That's how everyone knows to whom you belong, to who you owe allegiance to, etc., etc. All right, so we know the how, the when, the where, the why, okay? But what is the human remedy? We know that they are not taken into it, they being, you know, the establishers of this legal order, the progenitors. We know they are not considering your natural law rights. There is a grand distinction made. There's a difference between natural law and positive law. We can prove that hands down or hands up, whichever way you choose to look at it. We have the sauce when it comes to that. So we know that the remedy must involve a claim that goes to that distinction made at the House of Representatives website that states that natural law properly governs moral human conduct, and that positive law statutes, enactments of a duly authorized legislature, is distinguishable from that. Okay? So one properly governs moral human conduct, the other one does not. The other one governs over what we found are known as jural or juristic persons. These are persons of law. These are institutions, associations. They're artificial persons. So we know that. And so, again, the remedy must lie in that distinction. Because if positive law was not intended by the founding fathers and the lawmakers and what have you to govern human behaviors and conduct, then what are we to do with our human selves? I mean, we could go another decade or millennial, whatever, acting as if we don't know that we are not artificial persons. We can do that. But as you can tell, or you should be able to see, that the government have been expanding more and more, and you've been losing more and more of your natural rights. It's like the Blob. You remember the movie The Blob? The thing just grows. Everything it touches, it consumes, and it grows at the same time. Everything it touches. That's what government has become. Where it's supposed to derive its just powers by the consent of the government, or from the consent of the governed, the people. Its actual maker, it's supposed to derive the consent from us. But that is not what we have today. And the reason that we don't have that today is because we have relinquished that power through a transformation, a transgression, and a traversing across from the natural into the artificial. And that is after the order of Jacob and Esau, where Esau, being the eldest, should have known better, should have had more pride in his birthright. But alas, for a bowl of soup, he sold it out because he did not value it as much as he should have. And that's, I contend, our condition today. And this is why we find that the roles have been flipped. Right? Okay, so someone offered to give us government handout subsidies to feed us, to prepare our foods, to bring the foods to market for us, prepared. Somebody offered to make life much, much easier for us, the government, and we fell for it hook, line, and sinker, and we traded in our birthright, our inheritance, our birthright, and our estates for those handouts and amenities from the government. And that caused a change, a shift, a paradigm shift, a shift in realization, a shift in power even. Because if you're not the creditor, then you're probably the debtor. If you owe someone else something, you're the debtor, and they become the creditor. You become the tail, and they the head. All right, so I just want to put these things on your mind. Don't forget, we're going to be discussing, starting this coming week, perhaps even Wednesday, 7 o'clock or 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're beginning the talks in the series on the actual remedy. Now, we're not disclosing all of the goodies for everyone in the public. You will need to join us to have that discussion. We'll be having both Zoom meetings so that we can have a more intimate and private discussion, as well as Zoom meeting, as well as Patreon. Will be dropping the information there. Even after we do the live, we'll be putting it into a private Patreon account. So if you are interested in joining that, you should be, then you need to join our Patreon. Look in the description of this and other videos from the past to find the link to join us on the Patreon. Also, you can express your interest in being part of the talk, okay, and part of the discussion, and part of the instructional and seminar, okay, by hitting us up at the knowledgewell, the number 4, the letter U, at gmail.com. Okay, that's our email. Express your interest in being part of the Knowledge Well family and getting to the remedy, okay? And we will add you in to the list, right, and send you links so that you can join us. All right, we'll talk more details on that as you reach out. We have the sauce, and we're going to teach you how to apply that for educational purposes only. do yourself a solid and go back and look at look back a few weeks over the lives that we've done over the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and make sure that you take advantage of that offering now. We will be pulling those down, because what we're going to do is we're going to take those and put them together and do some edits on them and cut out the dross and all the fat, so that you can get right to the points in those messages. And we're going to package them, create a video series, okay, so that you'll be able to have that pure and uninterrupted and edited offering, going to the mark of the beast, the Antichrist, and legal personalities. Okay, so if you're interested in that, you can also express that at knowledgewell4gmail.com. All right, and we can get you on the order list. Okay, all right, so with that being said, make it a great day, and now you've been made free. The question is, what are you going to do with it? We'll see you hopefully Wednesday at 7 or 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If not, then Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, where we go live every Sunday. All right, peace, and be well.